Hello, this is your teacher Todd Booth, and I'll give you an introduction to the course, Client Security Architecture, A7005E. So there's a study guide, just a couple pages of information, and I'm going to review that, and that explains what is expected of you, what resources are available to you, provides information on how to get support, includes web pages for new students, and it's found in Fronter. And I'm going to show you a video about Fronter, and then I'll show you exactly where everything is. So you don't have to take notes or keep a copy of this. It's going to be really easy to find everything. And it'll be easier if I go through it one time with you on a video. So let's talk about the homework. The idea is we have sessions of school Monday through Friday. I mean, we might not have an actual session, but you're supposed to do work about 4 hours per day, Monday through Friday. And then we have a deadline each Friday. I call it a soft deadline because I know some students are busy, they get behind schedule, and they need the weekend to catch up. So the soft deadline's on Friday, and then I'm going to try to send out a reminder every Friday night saying, hey, you haven't turned in your homework if you haven't done it. And then if you're late, then you can catch up during Saturday and Sunday and turn it in Sunday night, because the hard cutoff deadline is each Monday at 8 in the morning. And I'll show you where to turn it in via the Fronter LMS video. Okay, let's talk about support. For general support, we have something called the LTU Student Support. And they are really great at handling all kinds of questions, general questions. So they're not going to tell you what course book we have, but they'll tell you just about everything you want to know, which is general and not specific to the course. Then we have course-specific support. So you can send your email to me. It's LTU, I'll just put the cursor here, clisec@gmail.com. Now I'm using a separate email, and I only use it for this class. And it makes it really easy for me to keep track of all the email, because otherwise if I use my shared LTU class, I have several classes. Students don't always use their student email address. They use their private one, and it gets messy fast. So that's why I use a private one for every single class. Now, normally I will answer within 2 business days. Friday and Saturday are not business. And within 2 business days, you should get an answer. If not, you can send me a reminder. However, the idea of the weekly sessions is that's where you should try to get your support. You're supposed to go to class, ask questions. That's how support should work. And the idea is not the following. If you miss classes, you can just use email and create your own personal time. So the general rule is ask in class. Now what you can do is forward your student email. I'm only going to send email to student accounts starting very soon, and you can configure your student mail to forward to your private account if you wish to. And you should check that every other day. Okay, now the short name for the course is CLISEC. I might even say Client Security or CLISEC, but the long name is Client Security Architecture. So it's a technical course, and we're going to cover both theoretical knowledge and limited practical skills. And LTU, it's a technology university. It's even in the name. And this course is part of the Division of Computer Science. So that's why, well, computer science is technical, and that's why this course is technical. And it's focused on technology. So the course workload, this is considered half time, 50% speed, and it should be about 20 hours per week for students. And that's assuming you have the prerequisites in the course, like you've programmed in Java, you know database, etc., etc., etc. Now to learn more, it's recommended you perform optional work, more hands-on labs, and that can reinforce the knowledge you learn in the class. So what's the general course structure information? Well, we're going to have 2 parts in the course, just like the syllabus says. We have a written examination, and then we're going to have weekly homework individual assignments. Now the final examination part of the course, you can get a U, a G, or a VG, and it's worth 5 credits. And then the individual and group assignments is a U or a G sharp, which means it's just pass or fail, and it's worth 2.5 credits. So we're going to have something called lecture sessions, and each week there's going to be one or two, normally two. And in those lecture sessions, I will be present, and what I'm going to do is also record them in case you don't go and you're not required to go. And that's where I'm going to discuss the course material. In particular, I'm going to focus on trying to help answer your questions and provide explanations. But I'm not going to go through every chapter and teach you every single page on each page of the book. At least that's how we're going to start. If there's some big need and you really want me to at least skim through the chapter and give a presentation on all that as well, I'll consider that. But to start out with, I'm going to focus on, after you study it, what are the issues you didn't really understand? What do you need more help with? What background can I help? What misunderstandings do you have where I can provide you with an explanation to help you understand better? Oh, and I also wanted to say the lecture sessions. In one of them, I will be in my office in Skellefteå, which is an hour and a half away from Luleå. And for that session, it will just be via the internet. And then for the other session, I will be in Luleå, and we're going to have a classroom, and then the students in Luleå can all get together and meet each other. So that's once a week. And then what I'd recommend is the students in Luleå, even when I'm in Skellefteå giving a lecture, I would suggest that you get together somewhere together if you want. I'm going to guess there's only maybe 10 students, and you can always break up into groups of 2 or 3, and you could see it together and discuss it. Also, during these lectures, please have your course book handy, because we may need to refer to that. Now, in addition to the 2 lectures a week, which are 90 minutes each, where I'm going to be discussing the course material, we have a whole bunch of sessions where students can meet each other. I call them student sessions or student meetings. And I'm not normally going to be present there. And that's a great place to meet study partners, to collaborate with other students, etc. But I'm generally not going to be there. Those are not going to be recorded. Literature, the course book. Well, you should know by now. It's in the syllabus, but here's the course book. Wow, 800 pages. That's quite a bit. So that's why I'm going to be using this book for 2 courses. I'm going to be using some chapters for this course, Client Security, and then I'm going to use the same book, next LP, right after this class is finished, in Internet Security, and I'm going to cover some of the other chapters which I don't cover in this course. It's a really hot book. It's hot off the press. It came out in July of 2014, and I am really crazy about new books. I just love to have the latest and greatest books. And the reason is technology in security is moving so fast. So it gives me shivers if I would have to make you in this class use a book that's like, for example, 2 years old. That would be, in general, awful. So I really like this. And in addition to the book, I also found some other information which is very current. So we're going to use the book. That's the only thing you have to purchase. And then we're also going to have some additional information, which will be available free of charge. Okay, learning management system. We have something called the Fronter LMS. I know I've sent out some emails talking about Fronter LMS, Canvas. Well, the university is moving towards Canvas to change from Fronter. However, it's going to take time, and it wasn't actually ready for me. I was hoping to start it on Monday, but it wasn't ready. So we're going to keep using the Fronter LMS, which is the standard at LTU right now, and you're using that for your other classes if you have other classes at LTU. And what I'm going to do is use the Fronter LMS to make all the information available to you. I'll make the study guide information available, other information, and you can use this to download information or turn in your homework. Now, one issue is you might not have your own access until Friday, September 5th. That's the end of the first week. So you can use a guest account in the meantime. So here's the guest account information, the URL. You log in as student at lt.se, and the password is student. But I'll make a video and send it out to you so you can kind of like follow the video as you log in. We have something called the LTU IT Service Technical Support, and they can help you with so many different things. If you have problems with email, if you don't have your user ID, if you have problems logging into Fronter, you name it, they can help you on so much. So I'm going to show you how to log into Fronter, and then you'll have access to this information as well, so you'll know when to contact them. So if you're going to prepare for the lecture sessions, that's where I'm going to be discussing the material. I know you're going to have questions from time to time, and to ask your questions, we don't want you to type it in. We want you to use the microphone. And the reason is, well, one reason is we can work faster and be more clear with a microphone. It's sometimes very disturbing if a student is trying to ask a question and it's taking a long time for them to type, as we have 30 students waiting for them to finish typing. So if you're going to ask questions, we ask you to have a microphone and be able to talk and speak and discuss the problem. So now if you have a headset or earpiece, it's really nice because you can eliminate the feedback. If you don't, if you use like your webcam and your webcam volume goes and it's also the microphone, sometimes that causes a feedback. So we would like you to have an earpiece or a headset. But if you really had to use the webcam, then go ahead and mute the microphone when you're not using it. And during the lecture sessions, have your course book handy. So let's talk about theoretical versus practical skills. So theoretical concepts and knowledge, it's more high level. So it's kind of like with a firewall, like a firewall in general is supposed to filter traffic. And then we have something called practical skills, and that is, well, even if you know your firewall is supposed to filter traffic, how do you actually get your hands on the keyboard and configure your firewall to do it? Then you have to use a certain syntax. So then we're getting into something called practical skills. And we're going to be covering both theoretical knowledge and practical skills in this course. Oh boy, the final examination. Well, I just want to talk to you about it now so you can plan. So it's closed book, which means you're not allowed to use the book during the exam. A dictionary is okay. However, you have to ask first, and you don't ask me, you ask the TA. So they're going to give you that information like a week before the final. Now there's going to be many short answer type questions. Like I might say like describe this, that, and the other. And then you have to write like maybe a sentence or maybe a couple of sentences to explain the answer. So there's going to be a lot of that, and then there might be a few true false multiple choice, and possibly not. Because I like the short answers, then I can really tell if you know it. If true false multiple choice, you can kind of eliminate a few and guess. So my general plan is 60% to pass, 80% for a VG. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.